starting. So let me tell you one thing that I wanted to do with this presentation. So I want us both to look at this presentation for ourselves, as career advisors, thinking about how we can help our clients to leverage their LinkedIn and to us as well. So I want this to be this two kind of presentation where you can take what you want for your own LinkedIn to leverage your own social media presence, your brand on LinkedIn, and also understand what would be good for us to tell our participants. Another thing that I wanted out of this presentation is to show you a bit about what I envision for presentations for a program, which I think that might be a little bit more engaging with more visual cues, more like content with a lot of percentages, like bringing a little bit more into that thing that like calls the attention of the audience. So that's more or less what I want here with this presentation. So when we start thinking about LinkedIn, and what I want you to think about LinkedIn is that we first need to understand what's our personal brand, right? So thinking about our personal brands is to understand, how do you market yourself professionally? Who do you want to be in this different platforms that we have out there, especially thinking professionally, LinkedIn, that's what we're going to be talking about most. But also, it's not only that, it's a lot about your online presence as well, your portfolio, if you have one, a YouTube channel, if you have one, your resume is part of it as well, and your professional photo. And one of the most important things that we always forget to think of is, how is your communication style? Like, how do you connect with other people, making your own posts or just commenting on other people's posts? So all of this is going to create what is your personal professional brand. And something that's a strong brand, it's going to showcase skills that are unique to you, that it's going to help you stand out from all of the other candidates that are out there. And it's going to help you be that one candidate that the recruiter is going to look at and be like, okay, I need this person in my hiring process. And then when we think about our professional brand across different platforms, we're thinking about something that's called digital presence, right? So what is, like, where are you right now? So a lot of us, and probably most of our clients, are in very different kinds of platforms. So we have Facebook, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, websites that they make for themselves. There is Behance, there's GitHub, there is YouTube, and then there's LinkedIn, right? So if you are someone that are platforms, this is going to form kind of like your online brand, right? Especially if you have all these different profiles open to the public. It's game for anyone in the internet to look at it and say, like, oh, who's that person? Like, what is this person conveying? Personally and professionally as well. So why I tell this, because most of the times recruiters are going to be stalkers. They're going to be looking into different parts of your life. And we do that. I remember doing that with Facebook, with Instagram. I didn't get the TikTok phase during the time I was a recruiter, but I would surely be there if I knew that my clients were there. So we need to make sure that our digital brand, it's how you show up online. So how is that? How is your product that is yourself is being sold out there to anyone that wants to see it in the internet, right? So it represents your identity, your values, your reputation, which is absolutely important in these platforms. And it shows, like, how do you communicate? What's the content that you're sharing? What are you talking about on your posts? One thing that we always forget is, what kind of content are we engaging with? Is it a professional content, especially when we're talking about LinkedIn? Because recruiters are able to see what you like, what you post, what you comment. So it's an overall image the overall image that you create on social media and websites and other online spaces. And then one thing that I always think is that your LinkedIn behavior is going to represent your brand, right? So we always have to tell our clients that, be professional, be respectful, and mindful of the content that you engage with when you are on LinkedIn. So one of the things that I wanted to bring here first, and then I think that this is first impressions, right? A good profile picture is your first impression for the recruiter and for everyone else that is in the platform, right? So I want to use, you can use your branding to make your profile pop. So I brought this Jimmy Kimmel like kind of joke here that he made a couple of years ago, which is like, what is his like different online presence in different platforms? So you can see a very suited LinkedIn picture for Jimmy Kimmel, and then you can see on his Facebook him with his family. On Instagram, he likes to fish, and then on Tinder. And then why is he on Tinder if he's married and has kid? But it's a whole other question. But just for you to see that how important it is for you to convey a good image on each one of your profile pictures, right? Like what's the kind of audience you're looking for? Well, you're looking to, like target. And we're going to talk a lot about that. But choosing the profile picture first is something that it shows who you are, and it needs to be to show who you are professionally on LinkedIn, right? From a recruiter perception, a survey has revealed that 71% of recruiters have rejected a candidate based solely on their LinkedIn profile picture. Just for you to see how image is a big deal. Also, 49% of recruiters admit that vacation photos raise a red flag, that they rank like the third worst in the kinds of pictures that they don't like for profiles on LinkedIn. And this goes along with like pictures that has a low resolution, pictures that lack a fully visible face. So let's take this here as must-haves in your profile picture. So your face should take up 60% of the frame. Face the camera. Let's not have those pictures of like people looking up, people looking down. I had one candidate that was amazing in the past, but his profile picture was himself from behind with sunglasses on his hair. And that didn't convey a very good picture, although he was like a very good image and he was a great candidate. So a lot of people would have just like let him go and not look at his profile because of that. One thing that I always think is that people are like, oh, I'm not a very smiley kind of person. I don't want to be smiling in my profile picture. There's no problem with that. What you need to have is a welcoming kind of expression, like a face that's not very neutral or not very serious, because you need to want people to want to work with you. That's the main thing about LinkedIn profile pictures. People need to look at it and see only you. So don't be with a lot of people in your picture. Try not to crop yourself from that amazing picture you took with a lot of friends because you're looking fine. Try not to wear sunglasses as well, funny hats, accessories that are unprofessional. People do like to use selfies sometimes, or AI generated images, cartoon-like pictures. Uh, if you're not in a professional setting, or applying for industries that are not like entertainment or something like a gaming industry, a company that actually uses AI a lot as their, like the main thing that they do, I would avoid those. But if not, if you want to, that's just think about who are you targeting, right? And one thing that I always like to say is check your photo visibility. A lot of people use their photo like visible only to their connections. So make sure that you open your picture for to have like visibility across LinkedIn for everyone, because recruiters are not going to be able to see your face. And I'm going to show you the recruiter side later on so that you can see someone without a profile picture. And this makes the recruiters less attracted to your profile. So I would definitely think about adding the visibility. And then here, I want to talk more about visual elements because we often ignore the background picture, right? We think, okay, I have a cool, very nice, very professional profile picture. Why do I need a background picture? And then this is something else that it influences the recruiter, right? It influences their view, and it makes a more compelling storytelling to your profile. So I brought two amazing career coaches, like people in career education, for us to take a look and see how different it is. Like they're both of their profiles and their backgrounds, and they tell a lot about their story. Either way, if you want to use pictures of like you working where you work, of your colleagues, have like a motto is always good. So here she's like steer your career. It's it's a very, very good and compelling picture. And the same time, if you see Joyce here, there is a very good picture about what she likes to do, which is helping people reach the top. So both pictures are great. You don't have to go personal. You can have like a picture that is not of yourself as well. But it is important because according to statistics, LinkedIn members with a profile picture receive far more engagement. And also with having the background to tell the story, it's going to help you tell that story to the recruiter, like understanding who you are and where do you want to be in your career. So yeah, these are choices, right? Like you understand what's best for you, but I urge you to add something, not to leave it blank. I feel that people who leave it blank show that they're not active. They're not using features of their LinkedIn to show up more on searches. If it's a feature LinkedIn's giving to you, use it. I'm going to talk more about this later, but just for you to get a little bit into it now. And then talking about target audience, let's know our audience. Let's understand that your personal brand should be tailored to suit different audiences. But then a lot of people ask me, oh, but my profile on LinkedIn is static. How do I do it? How do I tailor it to a specific job? I want to apply for that job. Should I tailor it for that? What is the image that I want to convey? So first and foremost, we need to make choices, right? Like we need to understand what is it? Like what is the career path I want to follow? So if I am right now working and I just want to make sure that my LinkedIn is up to date, is there an actual need for me to be very posting a lot of stuff? Is there an actual need for me to be commenting on other people's pictures at that time? No. If you're not someone that likes to do that and you're not looking for a job, I would definitely not do it that often. But I would always keep in mind that making those connections or keeping your profile up to date, it's going to be easier when you're looking for an actual job. So start thinking about who do you want to attract to your profile. For example, us as career advisors, if we start having our own practice, right? So you want to have your own practice, you want to do freelance work, and you want to start acting by yourself. I would definitely start understanding that my clients are my main audience, right? So what do I need to add? What kind of posts do I need to get those clients to come to my profile to book calls with me? If I am a job seeker, I want to understand who are the potential employers? What are the networking contacts? Who do I want to connect with? So follow your top companies and the companies you apply for. This is something that is absolutely important. I'll tell you why when we're talking about recruiter, but uh, they need to know that you follow them if you're applying for them. And follow people who are interesting and relevant in your field. And this is good because you stay up to date with things that are happening in your industry, happening in your field. You start learning new lingo as well. And that's when we go to use industry keywords. So I talk about check the lingo that's used and the sought after skills and qualifications for that position. And the best way to do that is reviewing profiles of professionals that have your desired job, that do what you want to do. So I become a stalker when I am looking for a job. I stalk other people's profiles, people that have the positions that I want in the companies that I like working for. And I start getting some of the keywords that they use. I start looking at, okay, so maybe this is something that I should add. And it's good because it helps you also understand what other different kinds of roles, names of positions people put on their profiles that you can start using on your job search. So that helped me, for example, when I started looking for career advising positions, I had no idea that facilitator would be a great word for me to put. And it's bizarre that I didn't know that, but I only learned that because I started stalking profiles of career advisors. And I was like, oh, facilitator is a good word to have on my profile. And also another thing is research people in the same industry, the same type of company that are top voices and mimic some of their actions. Like, what are they doing? Are they posting about how do they got how do they get remote positions and where to look for remote positions. So maybe this is something that you can start doing if you're targeting to an audience that's a client audience. So that's what I enjoy doing. I follow top voices and I understand what are they doing and where can I copy, right? Uh, One thing that I want to really call the attention to is the amount of keywords, right? So let's not cram keywords all over our profile. So my main tip here is to incorporate them organically, and you can use them in your about section. You can use them throughout your experience sections, because then it is going to show up on recruiter searches, and it's not going to be, like those like a lot of like buzzwords or a lot of like one after the other keywords like facilitator, career path creator, and things like that, because it becomes very commonplace, or someone that doesn't have a lot of creativity, right? So we can do that for our profiles. And that's why I also wanted to say that the right words matter, right? So how to show up actually on recruiter searches. This is something that I love telling people. The LinkedIn platform loves when you use features. If they create a new feature, I am the first one to go there and use that feature. If they create something like, oh, here are new tech skills that you can use, I'm going to go there and I'm going to add a lot of skills that I have. If they do anything that's new, LinkedIn wants you to use that, and that's going to go into the recruiter side of things, and you're going to show up more on their searches, right? So even job seeking activities, when you start looking for jobs and you start looking for companies, it will show up on the recruiter side of things, on LinkedIn Recruiter. So posting and following the company pages have a lot of power. And remember that recruiters are always looking at your latest posts. So if you do a post, like I had people doing it in the past, that's very personal, or it's very not connected to what you're professionally doing or seeking for, recruiters are going to, at least, I'm not going to say it's a red flag, but it's going to be something that's going to be on the back of their minds when they're thinking of you as the right candidate, right? So we need to include the right words, right? The right search terms for recruiters to find you. So go into job descriptions. The job descriptions of the jobs that you're seeking, that's where the how can I explain that? That's where the gold is. Like that's the gold mine. What are the words that they're using? And then you're gonna put them on the skills, selecting the skills, using them on the headline, the about, the experience, and ensure that the job titles that you have, and that's something that we say a lot to our participants, is to have those job titles changed, especially if you are an immigrant coming from a background that is not with Canadian experience. Having those changes is they are important, because then you are going to be seeked by the professionals that are looking for specific job titles that might not be exactly yours. Cecilia, is this a lie? Am I lying if I change the name? It's not a lie. You're not tweaking. You should not tweak in a way that it makes it untruthful, but you can change it in a way that makes you more searchable, right? So of course, if someone is a data analyst, they should not put as their title something like cloud computing, cloud software engineer. So there are ways of doing it that it's not on your job title, but remember always to seek for the job titles that you want to have as well, and if they're matching with the ones that you have. I like to say, like, make a very good impression fast. So be engaged. You have to make meaningful connections. Don't go around accepting every single one of the connections that ask for you to connect with them. Especially us as like career advisors. Of course, we want to try to help like all the people that we want or people that are in the tech industry are going to, I know, like I'm going to accept everyone, but it's good for you to understand who is going to be your main audience there. And LinkedIn is going to show your posts and everything to those people that are your first degree connection. So make sure that you also join groups that are meaningful, write stuff there, and you can increase a lot of your visibility by posting, even commenting, or contributing to collaborative articles. I have done that in the past, contribute to collaborative articles, and there's something that we need to be very careful. I've been seeing more and more people using what? Chat GPT and not their own opinions. So let's be careful as well with that. And the suggestion by LinkedIn is to take around 3 actions every week. So it can be like a small like or like a small comment, but we can try to make something more meaningful than just like, yay, great job, right? Let's make something that makes more sense to what the comment is. I wanted to bring different parts of it. And the most important parts right now that I wanted to bring here from your LinkedIn profile is the headline. So that's something that it's right under your name. So here we can see a very good headline. And it should include what's your current title, what's the profession that you're seeking for or that you have, and highlight a couple of your unique values, right? So, and if you are in tech, highlighting your main skills is a must, right? So if someone would put here software developer, React developer, I would love to see that when I am looking at as a recruiter on a profile. So let's not forget about that. And one other thing that I think a lot of people are scared of is the about section. So I see a lot of about sections with nothing written on them because people don't know exactly what to write. And this is something that can be as tiny as like a paragraph, or it can be something that can take up a whole page. It depends on, again, the audience. I know you're going to hate me for saying the word audience all the time, but one of the things is that it is who you want to impress, right? You want to impress who's looking at your profile. So in the about section, listing career goals, accomplishments, provide a sense of who you are. There's a lot of people that write a little bit about their personal selves, but what I think that is the thing that matters the most is like the 3 top lines of the paragraph that shows before you click on see more. So because this is the first thing that it's going to pop up. And then this has to be very engaging. So people want to press here. So I really like this one from Hope. She's also a career coach. And she's like, I help students, recent grads, and women returning to work to build confidence, create meaningful careers and lives through highly customized career coaching. And then she goes on about it, and I feel that it's a bit long for my taste, but you can see that she talks about things that are very good skills and keywords in a way that it really shows. I love bullet points. I feel that bullet points helps a lot a recruiter to just focus on the bullet points. So for me, this is good, like self-assessment, occupational explorations, decision making. So that's something that it really, really calls my attention. And then one thing that I would tell you to do is to have a call to action as well. She does have a call to action here, which is I start with a phone call to assess whether I can help. You can reach me at, and then she gives her phone because this is a way of you to show that you're interested in moving forward if someone reaches out to you, depending on who you want to reach out to you. So make a very, very tailored call to action to the kind of audience. If it is a client, to clients. If it is a potential employer, to potential employers. So far, so good. Yeah, perfect. I think that one of the things that I can say about the about section is to avoid bragging. Okay. So sometimes we're going to want to say a lot about our accomplishments and we're going to brag and we're going to use very big words and words that sometimes they are very like they're void. They are not words that are going to bring more to your profile. They're actually want to get your recruiter bored of reading them because it's going to sound a lot like AI. So I would focus, like I would focus on something that's called unique selling proposition, which is what do you bring to the table that's you, right? But just be careful with bragging, okay? We don't need to be humble. Of course, we talk a lot about that. We don't need to be humble, but at the same time, we need to be careful not to brag too much, not to feel like we are perfect people, right? And then here it brings me to another thing that some people do not like. So don't worry, I don't expect everyone to be a content creator on LinkedIn. And that's no problem because there are other ways for us to actually make ourselves more searchable. But this is a way that really works. So we need to engage with the people that are looking at our profile and make it visible. And then a tip here is that engagement matters more than how many connections you have. Right? So you can have 7,000 connections, but if you do not post, if you do not comment, if you do not join communities, if you do not add skills, you're going to be like not on top, right? You're going to be just another profile there. So when we're thinking about the LinkedIn algorithm, they prioritize engaging posts. And we talked about this in the past, right? So let's have a picture. Let's have like, instead of like, as I said, commenting on posts, like don't put just great posts, like write something that's valuable that connects you with that person that's posting. For us, every time that a mentor comes by and then they write something on their LinkedIn, we have they were a guest speaker that were great. One of the things that we can do as career advisors is to just connect with them and say, last week during your talk, our participants really loved what you had to bring regarding this, and that. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. That's much better than just saying like, congrats, right? I know that it's easier to write congrats, but I feel that when we interact in a way that makes more of a meaningful connection, LinkedIn thinks it's more engaging, right? The algorithm knows. And when we think about content that really perform well, multi-slide images, like with tips and guides, I love that. There are some of the content creators for career advising that I follow that I feel it's really cool when they put like different tips in different pictures. Short videos, I would never do that. I know that you think I would, but I would never. But there are some career advisors that do, and it's fun. It's fun to watch, but I don't think it's fun to make. And personal stories, right? Talking about something that builds engagement, that brings like it's when it's authentic from the heart. I think people have more easy to for people to relate to and to give a like, a comment on your post. So make sure that you're doing that. And another thing, if you don't really, really want to do that, because I know that's hard to do it, if it's not your cup of tea, you can be active and use the tool wisely without actually posting a lot. So what LinkedIn really wants is for you to use it regularly and consistently, right? So, okay, you can start a post, you can comment on a post, you can update your profile. If you keep updating your profile at least once a week, even if it is to change one word or another, you're already going to go on top of searches, right? So you show LinkedIn that you're using it. So all-star profiles are going to rank higher in search results, and all-star profiles have some must-haves, which is customized URL. I will keep saying and talking about customized URL because it's part of your branding. So if you use on your resume, let's take Mary. If Mary had tons of last names, right? So she's using if Mary has Mary Arters on her resume as her name, she should have Mary Arters in her LinkedIn name. She should have Mary Arters in her URL. That's a customizable URL. And why is that? You're creating consistency across your brand, right? Something else that's important is have at least 3 job experiences with detailed descriptions. I know people are going to say, but this is my first job. I don't have enough. That's okay. There's no way of for you create like new jobs if you didn't have that amount of jobs in the past. But LinkedIn has something that they are going to understand how much you are in the right path. I don't want to say the right path, but the right trajectory for specific positions when recruiters are searching for you. So just make sure that you have all your job experiences there. At least 10 skills. And why am I saying that? Because you have 50 plus, I think now, skills that you can add. And why is that? Because when you prioritize skills and you align them with the job descriptions, I think it's the first five, they're going to be the ones that are going to show up more on the on the LinkedIn recruiter search. So more skills, more search appearances, right? So make sure that you use, the top skills are the top three skills are most visible on your profile. Because if you saw the profile from Hope, her top skills were showing under her about session as well. So that helps the recruiter to look at it and be more really want to talk to you next. And then we're going to talk a little bit about algorithm and how to use it in your favor, right? When we're talking, this is like a LinkedIn Recruiter Lite, but it's very similar to what LinkedIn Recruiter is. And the main difference is that when you are researching candidates with the recruiter platform, you have access to any connections, right? So anyone in the platform. Recruiter Lite is going to only let you have 3-degree connections. So you only reach and candidates are only searchable until your 3rd-degree connection. So that's more or less one of the main differences. Of course, there are other differences, the amount of emails that they can send and other amount of things that are going to only be good for the recruiters, not on our side as career advisors or as candidates. And they use something that's called Boolean search, right? I don't know if everyone here is aware of what's Boolean search, but it's kind of like a smart way to refine searches. And you use special operators. You use and, or, not. So for example, I'm looking for a software developer, right? So I'm going to put software and developer and React because I'm looking for a specific React. Or I can do something like software and developer, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, put React or Vue and close parenthesis because I can search for anyone with those two frameworks. That's okay. So these searchers are going to bring to the recruiter people that have that on their profiles. So that's why I keep saying like to participants, if you have more than one framework that you have worked in, add it. That's okay if you only work with it for like, I don't know, like 6 months or something like that. It's going to be better and show up better on searches. Uh, Recruiters can have over 40 filters, and the key filters that they use is job title, location, skills, and years of experience. So these 4 things, they need to be optimized in your profile without a doubt. And then other things that are going to help you to enhance your chances to be recommended to recruiters to appear on the top of the searches is the skills, as I said, add all the skills. I'm not kidding. Put everything that you can add to your skills. And then those skills are going to lead to endorsements. So all of us here, we're going to add our skills and we're going to endorse each other because we have worked with each other. So I'm going to go into Nasira's profile and I'm going to endorse her for facilitating. I'm going to go into Mary's profile and endorse her for delivering workshops. I'm going to go into Nahi's profile and endorse her for being a technical facilitator as well. So these are the things that we need to do for each other because endorsements also help us go on top of the searches. And last but not least, recommendations. So that's the next thing that we want to do for each other here and that our clients can also do for each other. Because as we use Tech Connect as an employment-like environment, they have seen each other working, right? They can write recommendations to each other. And recommendations from colleagues are a great way to show the platform. Yes, I'm using it. I'm here. And I'm someone good to be recommended to a recruiter when they're searching for someone like me, right? And what does LinkedIn Recruiter looks like, right? So this is the what when I am doing a search in on LinkedIn Recruiter, this is how it starts. And it uses a lot of AI nowadays. When I first started working with it, it did not use any kind of AI. But how does it help the recruiter to look for you? They can use an AI search, assisted search to find the exact candidate. So they can do like literally, they can look for women developers in the Great Vancouver area, Great Vancouver area, working with companies that are mid-sized so they can actually write a full paragraph about exactly who they want, and AI can help them search for that. So it will also suggest the recruiter who are the people that are most likely to respond. And what does this mean? If you are a candidate that reply to all your email, to all of your mail, yeah, all of your messages, that's going to show the platform that you are a candidate that's likely to respond. So even if you get a spam, even if you get a scam as well, are you going to answer? Yes, you're going to answer. You're going to answer, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm not interested at this moment, but it's a great opportunity. You can just answer it in any way. You will get more chances to be appear on the recruiter search by being someone that's likely to respond. It will predict when the candidates are open to new jobs because it shows what is your history of searches, right? It doesn't show to the recruiter exactly what you're searching for, but it shows you're active. You're actively looking. And it detects, as I said, career progressions, and it's going to suggest the candidates that are on the right trajectory. I don't want to say that because no one's in, like, there's no right or wrong trajectory, but for that specific recruiter, searching for that specific candidate, that would be his or her right trajectory according to the hiring manager in the job description, right? So I just wanted to put this out there for you to see how is it being used. And then what does the recruiter see? This is something that everyone wants to know, right? Like, so this is how it shows. And that's why I wanted to tell you, look at this. Like Dana, she didn't put a profile picture. It doesn't call the attention that much for me. I don't know who she is. I look at her. I cannot look at her, actually. I'm looking at a simple random profile icon from LinkedIn. And then this is how it shows. It shows the experience. It counts the years of experience. It shows exactly the different places that they have worked for and when they have worked for, shows education. And look at this, high likelihood of interest. What does it mean? It means that you might be a company follower. You might have a lot of mutual connections. So you see that what LinkedIn does here is to show the recruiter if you are interested, right? Recently open to work, active talent, company follower. So my tips here are profiles with skills, rank higher. Never forget that. Let's keep putting skills. Your engagement history, they're going to be looking at. So how much have you engaged with that company? If you are a company follower, if you are likely to respond. So all of this is going to show up on the recruiters, on the LinkedIn Talent Solutions recruiter platform. So make sure that you, when you are looking for a job, that's something that has to be on your mind. And then here, a couple of tips that I wanted to give you for networking events. Let's use LinkedIn for networking events. And this is a very easy way to do it. So you can go on your own LinkedIn app. So have the app when you go to events. And then this is very hard. This was something that it got me thinking, like, how do I get there? How do I get my QR code, right? So you can come here on search. You're going to click on the little QR code that's super tiny that is on the top right of your cell phone. And then you're going to find your QR code. And then other people are going to be able to connect with you right then and there during the networking event. And then you can do the other way around as well. You can just scan the other person's QR code, right? So that's quite simple as well. Just go to the next one and scan the QR code. And then I wanted to bring a couple of things that our candidates, our participants, and a lot of candidates ask a lot. Should I use the easy apply or not? If yes, why? If not, why not? So it does lead to a high volume and low quality applications for recruiters, right? So recruiters that are using this usually just want to show how many people are applying for your job to hiring managers, right? So it can be effective only if you have a very well optimized profile. If you are someone that's very passive, that's not changing your profile, this is just going to be one more curriculum to the pile of resume to the pile of resumes. Candidates are not going to be able to tailor their resumes or cover letter for each job. So the thing here is what are you prioritizing? Is it amount of positions you're applying for, or is it a couple of positions and you are applying with a lot of quality with tailored content? If it's the first option, I would definitely tell use it as much as you want. But if it is the job that you really want, I would not use LinkedIn Easy Apply. What we usually do is to prioritize the company career pages for every single important application, right? So I would definitely suggest doing that. There is like in 2023, now quite recently, Nolan Church, he's a former Google recruiter. He, in an interview with CNBC, he said something regarding being a red flag using open to work. So do we use open to work badges or not? So it will depend on the recruiter, actually. This is something that a lot of people say, but this guy specifically said that it feels a lot like desperation. And I'm like very wary when someone from such a big company says that because it really helped me in the past as a recruiter. If I saw the LinkedIn open to work badge for me, Cecilia specifically, it was great because it was an easy way for me to find out who was and who was not looking for a job. What you can do is option one, leave it visible for recruiters only. It's recommended. I would do it if I was looking for a job. You can do it easily in your profile. Or option two, visible to everyone, and then you would have the open to work badge, right? I love this statistic here that 33 million LinkedIn users out of more than 1 billion members are actively using open to work feature publicly. So from those numbers, you can understand already if it does make sense or not. Personally, I don't use it. I haven't used it in the past. I feel that if I want people to know, I would definitely put visible to recruiters only. But that's my take, right? So just for you to, if you have that in your any of your clients ask it because they ask a lot, that would be my take and to help you to do that. And then finally, we're getting to the end of it. I have an activity, which is let's review one of your profiles or mine and digging into one of your LinkedIn profiles to check what can be optimized. And then I want to know if anyone wants to jump in and say and, like one me.
Mine.
Yay, let's do it.
It needs some work. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I'll be a good
Um,
example.
no,
Yeah.
that's good because go
And
ahead,
Mary,
Missy.
yeah, Mary, do you want to keep the recording on or you want to turn it
Oh, yeah,
off?
sure. It doesn't matter. I
Okay.
don't think this is going outside the team, is
Okay.
it?
No, what we can do, we can turn it off. I would let it turn it off, and then we can
Sure.
go into the profile so we can keep your confidentiality.
Okay,
But
that sounds
thank
good.
you. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and we're going to go to the next activity now.